In this section we're going to talk about water flow, and we're also going to talk about where that water goes and what that water does once it's inside your ionizer. Now when you open your box you're going to see two key things. The first thing is your diverter. This takes water from your faucet and routes it towards the water ionizer. With the diverter you're also going to use this hose. This hose you're going to be able to cut, and it's going to go to and from the water ionizer and bring water into your carbon filter. Now, this carbon filter filters out about 99% of all contaminants that you find in tap water. These are contaminants like chlorine, volatile organic compounds, benzene, heavy metals, bacteria, and parasites. Now, once it's through this carbon filter, it's going to go to what's called the engine of the water ionizer. This is called the electrolysis chamber. The electrolysis chamber has two 600 square centimeter platinum coated titanium plates in it, which helps separate the water and create alkaline water. Now let's go into a little bit more depth on the front of this and find out what all the buttons do. When we look at the front of our water ionizer, we see 6 buttons. The first button is the low pH setting, labeled with a number 1. That's what you're going to start drinking for the first 2 weeks after you get your water ionizer. After that, you're going to move up to the medium pH setting, which is a setting of 9 pH. You're going to use that for 2 weeks. And finally, you're going to move up to your high pH setting, which is a 9.5. And this is what you'll be drinking for the rest of your life. Moving across, we see our filtered water button. It has a setting of 7 pH and is perfect for taking any kind of medication with. Moving down, we see our mild acid button. It's set at a 5.5 pH and is perfect for plants or washing vegetables. Moving down again, we have our strong acid button. This is set to a 4 pH and is perfect for sterilizing and disinfecting. Now, let's take a closer look at our screen. There are 2 important meters on the screen of our water ionizer. The first one is our liters per minute gauge. This lets us know how quickly water is moving through our water ionizer. A typical speed is about 2.5 to 4 liters per minute. Our next meter is our life meter here. This measures how much water has gone through the carbon filter inside of our ionizer. Typically, a carbon filter will last for about 10,000 liters. For most people, that's about 2 to 3 years. Now let's answer a few frequently asked questions. One question that we get constantly from owners of our water ionizers are, what is the port for on the top of our water ionizer? Well, if you unscrew this, it comes out rather easily. And you'll notice there's also a tube in there as well. All this port is for adding minerals. Now, everyone's different, so they may add different minerals, but it's on there to add any kind of minerals you want, like calcium, to your water. Another question we get for our chefs out there are, what is the residue that's left behind when I'm boiling ionized water? Well, first of all, I'll say that this is completely natural. All it is mineralization. It washes out like normal, and if you don't like it, you can just boil water with simple filtered water. For people who use polycarbonate bottles, we get a lot of questions about the residue that's left over at the bottom of the bottle. Well, if you're like me and have a polycarbonate bottle, you wonder that same question. All this is mineralization at the bottom of your bottle. Again, completely normal. All you need to do is throw a little bit of white vinegar, white regular household vinegar, inside the bottle, shake it up, and let it sit. You'd only have to let it sit for about 30 minutes or so, and you'll notice when you're done that mineralization will be gone. You can also use CLR, however we don't recommend it. It's not something that you want to ingest, it's not something you want to accidentally swallow, because it is a chemical. So again, we highly, highly recommend simple white vinegar. Question a lot of people ask after they've installed their water ionizer is regarding the black water that comes out of the water ionizer the first time you use it. Well, as with any filtration system, that has a carbon filter, all that is carbon dust. You just simply have to run the water ionizer for about 5 minutes and all that black water will be gone. Again, it's normal carbon dust, the same as with any other filter. Another question we get asked regarding our water ionizers is, what is the flashing blue light that I see on my water ionizer? Well, we want to assure you that this flashing blue light is a very common thing. In fact, it's a good thing. This flashing blue light simply means that the water ionizer is cleaning itself. It's cleaning those platinum-coated titanium plates. If you disturb this process, it won't hurt the water ionizer, but you do have to turn on the water, turn it off, and then turn it back on, and your water ionizer will function just as normal. Our last question is, why is the water so cloudy when it comes out of the water ionizer? Well, in fact, it's not cloudy necessarily, it's the oxygenation in the water. In fact, if you drink water straight out of the water ionizer, it's at its best and it's at its most oxygenated. So it's not cloudy necessarily, it's simply filled with oxygenation. Thanks for watching. We at H2O Water Systems appreciate you learning more about our product. If you have any more questions or would like to order parts or get service on your ionizer, please go to our website, h2owatersystems.com. Thanks.